Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Edna Tse.
And I'm Raymond Yeung. Here are tonight's top stories. Beijing's top man in Hong Kong welcomes conviction of Occupy 9 as victory for city's rule of law.
Helper who was sacked after being diagnosed for cancer awarded compensation.
And your sashimi may contain extras, but they are disgusting and bad for you.
Beijing's top official in the SAR has described the convictions of 9 Occupy Central leaders as a victory for Hong Kong and its rule of law.
Liaison Office Director Wang Jimin also accused unnamed people of using taxpayers' money to travel abroad and denounce Hong Kong. Edna Tse reports.
The recent convictions of 9 Occupy protest leaders on public nuisance-related charges came under the spotlight at a National Security Symposium today. Attending the event were top Beijing officials, including Wang Jimin, the director of the Liaison Office. Former Chief Executive Tong Chih-hua and current leader Carrie Lam were also present.
4月9号，无疑是彰显香港法治精神的重要一天。
Speaking about the verdict for the first time, Wang said the court had manifested the spirit of Hong Kong's rule of law by finding the activists guilty for their roles in the massive demonstrations. He described the ruling as a victory for Hong Kong and its rule of law. Wang said the 79-day protests had paralyzed traffic in key areas, affecting retailers and taxi drivers, and causing pain to the city's rule of law. The demonstrations, he said, also served as a warning that Hong Kong needs to look into loopholes in the existing legal system relating to national security. Wang accused the Occupy Central campaigners of letting citizens foot the bill for the damage that resulted, and he criticized the movement's co-founders for showing no remorse. The Liaison Office chief also said some people, whom he did not name, sided with anti-Beijing politicians and badmouthed Hong Kong. He claimed that they had begged foreign countries to intervene in local affairs.
这种拿着香港纳税人高分厚禄。
These people used taxpayers' money to travel abroad and sell Hong Kong for their own interests, Wang said. Such deeds will be scorned by Hong Kong people, by all Chinese people, and by their own ancestors, he added. Edna Tse, HKIBC.
Also at the symposium, the number 2 at the Liaison Office urged the Hong Kong government to strengthen its laws in protecting national security.
Chief Executive Carrie Lam said the government has a constitutional responsibility to enact the controversial Article 23 National Security Law. Here's Edna Tse.
The message from Liaison Office Deputy Director Deng Zhonghua was loud and clear. Beijing has zero tolerance for any anti-China action.
是在香港贯彻一国的最重要的内容。
Speaking in front of several SAR officials, Deng said Hong Kong is obligated to maintain national security, as set out under the one country, two systems principle. The city should curb those who harm national security, he said. He urged the SAR government to strengthen its laws, saying only a comprehensive legal system can avert threats to national security and punish those who hurt the state. In her speech, Chief Executive Carrie Lam reiterated Hong Kong's constitutional responsibility to enact the Article 23 National Security Law. But even without the controversial legislation, she said her administration will not turn a blind eye to any breach of national security. Last year, the pro-independence Hong Kong National Party was banned on national security grounds. Lam revealed that she is in the final stages of compiling a report on the ban as requested by Beijing. She hopes to submit the findings to the central government shortly and publicize its contents without affecting ongoing proceedings. Edna Tse, HKIBC.
A Filipino domestic helper who was sacked after a cancer diagnosis was awarded compensation by the Labor Tribunal.
Baby Jane Alas was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer and was fired by her employer, citing the illness as the reason.
In solidarity with Baby Jane. In solidarity with Baby Jane. Stop discrimination.
Supporters of baby Jane Alas chanted for justice as they joined her outside the Labour Tribunal this morning. The 38-year-old single mother of 5 was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer in January. Her employer sacked her the following month, citing her illness as the reason. The case highlighted the plight of foreign workers in Hong Kong. Because she was unemployed, Alas immediately lost the right to health care and had to extend her visa while battling cancer. Her 8-year-old daughter and relatives flew to Hong Kong from the Philippines in a show of support.
Yeah, I only say thank you very much for your support. And I hope I will win about my case with my employer, and also I want to win my illness. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not about about the money. It's all about the right of other helper also.
Her sister's employer was among those outside the tribunal.
Baby Jane's case, her case is not an anomaly. It's simply an easy case to discuss because her employer was so blatant, put everything in writing and signed it. Cases like these happen every day in Hong Kong, and we all need to make an effort to make sure that the rights of these workers who are so important to our families are protected.
Alas was awarded $30,000 in compensation after reaching a settlement with her employer for sickness allowance, medical fees, and wages in lieu of notice. She has separately filed a claim with the Equal Opportunities Commission for wrongful termination and loss of earnings.
This next item may put you off your food, but in a short